everyone. This is day 3. We're live together talking about writing and books and legacy and messages. And I'm not here alone. I'm here with the awesome Athena Shack. Hey, Athena, how are you?
Hey, Kimo.
Are you as excited about it being just 2 days before the weekend like I am?
Oh, Jesus. I didn't even realize today was even Thursday.
What did it feel like? A Wednesday, a Friday? What did it kind of feel like?
Somewhere in between.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Listen, those of you who are on, maybe you've been on for the last couple days. If this is your first day watching this, put 1 in the comments. If it's the second day you're tracking with us, even if you watch the replay, put 2. If it's your third day, if you have been with us for the whole 3 days, put 3 in the comments, even if you're watching it on the replay. We believe today and all 3 days you're going to get a lot of value and it'll prepare you for what's next. So, Athena, we've been talking about writing books, publishing books, getting messages out there. And for those who don't know Athena, she is the CEO of Water Springs Publishing. Anything? What is the vision of Water Springs Publishing? I'm just asking you a question today so that people get to know a little bit more about you.
The vision of Water Springs Publishing is to bring resources that refreshes the soul, renews the spirit, inspirational, knowledgeable um, resources that matter. That's really the heart of um, what I like to bring and the books that I like to support, and to support authors and empower authors to um, make an impact
Yeah,
and
yeah,
an income.
yeah. That's good. That's why we're here. Impact
Mhm.
and income.
And
Now, if you are watching this, and we ask this question every day, if you have written a book, put author, right? So just let me see. If you've already written a book, put author. If you are planning to write a book, put soon to be author, right? Or just put like I'm going to write a book. If you've thought about writing a book and something has stopped you or there's some doubts in there, put something. Let us know that you've been thinking about it. But if any one of those three, written a book, plan to write a book, 1, 2, put yes in the comments for all of them. Just put yes. Make it real simple. Put yes in the comments. I want to know who's watching today. So Athena, talking about book writing, and we started off talking about how your book allows your message to outlive you. It allows it to outlive that moment. It allows it to move beyond where you are, that geography, right? And we looked at the Bible, just the fact that what it's done for faith down through the centuries for people who have long been sleeping, right? Now we still have their words. And then yesterday we looked at just the fact that it makes you an authority. Like that word author, if you put a couple more letters on there, it makes you an authority figure, gives you credibility, and allows you to speak to something. Today, I think we're going to talk about something that a lot of people, if we're honest, we want to know about this whole writing of a book thing. One, can I afford to write a book? Right? How expensive it is, and we're actually flipping it to say why you can't afford not to write a book, why you can't afford not to write a book. I'll fix that. Why you can't afford not to write a book.
mhm.
So, talk to us about that. Is there money to be made in writing books? Talk to us about this.
There is money to be made, and there's also money to be invested, right?
Okay.
Um, you said something, and I think you said all the time, if you don't pay,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't
You
what
don't pay
was
attention. You don't
you
pay
don't pay
attention.
attention, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing as it relates to books and investments and publishing, you have to invest some,
Okay.
right? There is a cost. And with there being a cost and an investment, you want to make sure you get a return plus on that investment. So I believe in sowing. I believe in sowing time and resources into a published book to make it a professional published book.
Mm-hmm.
If you want someone to pay for it, it
Mm.
needs to have value on the inside and on the outside.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm big on that. And then in terms of making money, we talked about impact yesterday, right? And we talked about credibility and influence and all those things. If you do and make the right step, your book should make money.
Okay.
Plain and simple,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Let's be real. Not every book makes money.
Okay.
We're just going to take all the elephants and pull it out today. Not every book makes money, and it's not necessarily the book's fault. Okay,
Ooh, okay.
have
Okay.
a great book and not make any significant money, and it's not the book's fault, it is the author's fault.
Okay.
Because the author has not taken the necessary steps to market, promote the book, or see its value beyond Amazon
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in those sales. And this is why I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I want to dispel the myths that if I put my book on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
it's just going to make a whole lot of money at night, and I'm going to wake up and see all of these sales.
Yeah.
I hate to be the one to to
You
burst
gotta
the
you gotta tell the truth. We gotta tell the
but
truth.
it doesn't work like that,
Yeah.
right? You have to be strategic. Amazon works on supply and demand. Like, there are what, millions of books published on Amazon a year. How is someone going to find your book?
Yeah.
You know, so I want to get that off of the table. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah. You know,
And go ahead.
there was this movie called Build It and They Will Come. But it was just a movie. Like,
Yeah. And you know where that
it's not
comes
the
from?
truth, but
Build
yeah.
it. Yeah, build it. They'll come from real estate.
Yeah.
That's a real estate marketing advertising plug that from many years ago. If you just build it, they will come. I tell people, look, you are not Beyonce. You just can't drop a book in the middle of the night and be like, bam,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna $1,000 in sales today. No, you're not Beyonce. So we have to do some work. But it's not as hard if you have if you have a strategy and some thought. And so I
Mm-hmm.
want to share today multiple ways
Okay. Okay.
that you can monetize your book. Because here it is. And again, we're busting myths, and I'm bringing some sad realities first. On average, self-published authors do not sell more than 250 copies in its book's life cycle,
Wow.
in its lifetime. That is a sobering fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you are smart, there is a way where you can average $1,000 a month with a good strategy. As
Okay.
a
Now
self-published author with no big platform. Okay. So
you got our attention now, right? You just said you can
uh-huh.
average $1,000 a month as a self-published author. Listen, if you are listening to this and you're considering our 3-day challenge, you got to lock into this. If you have a book, you got to lock into this. If you plan to write a book, you got to lock into this. And you might want to take some notes. Tell us.
Okay. I want to tackle the things that we don't usually consider. All right. I've already talked about Amazon. That's what everyone knows. I want to talk about the things that a lot of authors don't consider. All right. And so let's go with the easy, what I call the lower hanging fruit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can take your book and use it to develop programs that have a higher value ticket, price, right? That's connected to your book's message. So it can be a coaching program, it can be a consulting service, it can be a course, right? This is what I call lower hanging fruit, right? So you can take your book's topic and turn it into a higher value um, opportunity. What I like to tell my authors is use this book, this low $20 book, to monetize a bigger program. So when it gets to the end of the book, that call to action is not just, hey, connect with me on social media, but here are some programs that you can be involved in. Here is a workshop, an annual event, and then you have links to those programs where now that $20 book just made you $150 on a course, on a service fee, right? Multiply that now by the number of books you sold, and you can take that $20 book sales and make $1,000 easily
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
just 10 people bought into it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So having something that is a higher value that your book is able to connect to, that's lower hanging fruit.
Mhm.
Okay, that's lower hanging fruit. Um, you can, one of the things that people don't realize is that when you have multiple books, let's say you have a second book, that first book will get a bump in sales just because of the
Ooh.
visibility of that second book.
Yeah.
Okay. When people see another book from you and they realize, well, I like this book. Let me go.
Yeah. What else you got?
Right. So now we're doubling, right?
Mhm.
We're doing the math here, which is why you get to the end of your book and I'm spilling the secret sauce. You should always have what your other books, other books
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
have, right?
Yeah.
Again, you got to make that book work for you, and to be able to monetize it a little bit better. Again, this is all lower hanging fruit.
Mhm.
Okay. So another book, companion workbooks, journals. Again, these things are bumps and will add to your profits. Okay. Lower hanging fruit, ebooks, audiobooks. All right. Right now, and someone asked me, in one of my programs, are people still reading? And I'm like, yes, people are still reading. But we're so much on the go. Audio, podcasting, all of those things has really increased over the last several years, especially with when COVID happened.
Mhm.
So audio books are getting up there. And so now my authors and Word Springs Publishing, all of my authors now have audio versions of their ebooks across the board,
Mhm.
right? So that is another avenue. So you have your paperback, you have your ebook, and you have your audio books
Hmm.
minimum, right? So
Wow.
you get your paper turners, page
Yeah.
turners,
Yeah. And your listeners, right?
your listeners, and your electronic.
Your
Those
swipers.
are
Yeah.
almost, yeah. So you should be able to you should have multiple formats for your
Yeah.
book. We like the word multiple, right? That's how we do the math. Okay. That's what I call low hanging fruit. All right. So now let's talk about some bigger fruit.
All right. Let's go.
Making a profit, you got to do the math.
Mhm.
Okay. You just can't sit back and say, I'm a published author, my book is out there, and that's great. We've already said that's a no go. You must be intentional about making income. Okay. When you are a published author, you are an entrepreneur, whether you like it or not. And as an entrepreneur, you need to have income goals and you need to have a way to meet those goals. Okay. The easiest way to do that is with multiplication.
Okay.
Okay. Multiplication. So this means instead of that one-on-one, I'm selling my book direct to one person. This means now you think about how I can multiply my book sales with bulk orders.
Yeah. Talk
Okay?
about that.
So
That's a
think
hack right
about
there.
bulk orders. And it's again, secret sauce being spilled. I tell my students, write down a few organizations, 5 organizations that you can sell 10 or more books to. Write down a few organizations that you can sell 100 books to. Contact those organizations, right?
Mm.
We forget about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you think strategically and you think bulk, um, it will put you in a different mindset. So you're not nickel and diming
Mm-hmm.
for one book. The best story that I have is one author who used her relationship. Now, she had great publicity for her book. She did all the right things, but what made her, and all those things, publicity makes you, visible.
Mm-hmm.
But she learned how to use her relationships to make a bulk order. So in her denominational conference, she was able to get, I think, about 7 conferences to purchase copies of her book for their delegation.
Mm-hmm.
So she was able to create a 1,000 book order
Wow.
that went to at least 7 different groups,
Mm-hmm.
right, in her denomination.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a small book. Okay. So easily that was a $10,000
Oh my gosh.
bulk
Yeah.
order,
A
right?
thousand, even me, Lord, even me.
Right. For one relationship, one order. She did the math, right? So this is what you can do. Another example, one of my clients, one of my authors, I'm so excited for her. Her book, she has a book and a workbook journal, activity book
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
And in her school that she is graduating from, she parlayed her expertise in relationship, and now her book set is a requirement for a particular course.
Do you know how
So
much
for
of a game changer that is? That's a game changer.
it is because those students are required to purchase her book.
Yeah.
That is the requirement. So relationship, bulk, right? Do the math. Um, easy, what I call low hanging fruit. Your churches who have bookstores, your conferences, um, groups, fellowships, ministries, fraternities, sororities, even nonprofits. Yes, they have money to purchase books for their people. So there are people who will purchase your books to give them to their groups. Okay. You can give as whatever discount you want, right? Because you're the owner of those books. But that is the key to making good money with one book.
So Athena, what I'm hearing from you is this. I wrote the book. One, I can't be just put it one place and expect people to just go buy. That can't happen. I have to be active in sharing my book. And I think you're going to share some more tips on that when we do the challenge.
Mhm.
But on top of that, not just being active selling that book, right? Again, Amazon, nothing, we're not knocking it, but if you just put it on there, it can get lost, right?
Mhm.
But actively selling it. And as I actively sell it with the book, I can bundle it and sell a group of these books to one organization. So instead of me selling to 50 people in that group, I sell to the whole group, to the whoever is that decision maker, the key decision maker. They buy that, right? So that's one way I can, you know, make more money, make more income off of it. Second way is I can add something that's an additional, like a companion. So I can add a workbook that goes along with the book. I can add a journal that goes along with the book. And I've seen you do that, and I'll come back around to that. I've seen you do that with some of your things. I can add another product is basically what we're saying, right? So I get to, and if I write another book, the fact is now people want more of what I've written. So as an author, writing another book actually helps your first book or the other books. And then on top of that, I can add a service to the product of a book. So when people read what I've written, they may want me to coach them on a particular thing. They may want me to be a consultant for them. They may want an additional digital product like a video series or a course. And then there's so many different ways. I hope I captured all of them for those who might just be coming on or just those who need a little recap. But the point you're making is, one, there is income to be made, but you can't just put it out there and do nothing about it. It's almost like burying it in the ground.
Exactly. And that's why the number of books sold, that statistic, is because that's what people do.
Mhm.
And they get discouraged
Mhm.
because they don't see sales, and then they don't promote. They don't talk about their book.
Yeah.
Or they don't see how they can leverage their knowledge and their credibility to get into another space. Now, I think we talked about in previous days, speaking engagements, of course, I call lower ticket, lower fruit. But then there's also, and here's the thing, this is what I wanted to say when you were speaking. You should have all those things you mentioned and we talked about. You should be doing at least 4 or 5 things
Wow.
of those things.
Mhm.
Not just a workshop, not just, a companion piece. No, you need to have a bulk order strategy.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to have another service or something, some kind of offer. Okay. You need to have, because we're talking about math, right? Multiplication and adding, right? Have more than one stream of income for your book.
Yeah.
That's how you can get to $1,000 a month easily,
Yeah.
right? If you have more than one stream, right? And there's just so many other things that you can do. There are people who have even licensed, all right, their process and what have you,
Yeah.
or
The framework.
franchise
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So you can license your framework to other organizations, to schools, to ministries, and so that they have permission to use your literature, okay?
Yeah.
Because we do have copyright protection. People cannot just make photocopies of your book and hand it out. That is against the law. But you can license, right? And so that's a different fee structure for that organization where they have permission to use your copyrighted material,
Mhm.
right? So you have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan to make income.
That's good.
And it should not just be one stream.
Yeah. That's
See
good.
how you can at least do 3 to 5.
Yeah. You know, we titled this "Why You Can't Afford Not to Write Your Book." And as I'm listening to you, Athena, for a lot of us, one, um, we do want another stream of income, right? Um, this is not to tell you leave your job, but what we're saying is, if God has given you a message, He's giving you an experience, that may just be the thing that you need to look at as a way to generate income.
Mhm.
And a great thing about a book is it allows you to organize your thoughts on a particular topic, put it in a sequential way. And then once you have that, you so many things you can do with it. And so if you have some gap between what you are making now, what you want to make, or you just have goals for maximizing, this is a stewardship thing, maximizing what God has given you, writing a book is a great way. Now, there's some things in life that once you do it, it changes. Like you can't go back from that, right? So I'll give you an example. When I lived in Memphis, Athena, I wanted to, but for years before, I wanted to run a marathon. And so when I lived in Memphis, we went to Little Rock and I ran the Little Rock, Arkansas marathon. For the rest of my life, I'm a marathon runner. Right?
Mhm.
I ran a marathon. Same
Mhm.
thing with writing a book. Once you write a book, now we don't, with some of us, we know we need to write the next one. But for some of us, we're at zero. Once you write a book, you can't take back that you're an author.
Mhm.
That's something, a title that you wear for the rest of your life. And for some of us, that's something that you have aspired to do, and you might think it's really difficult. You might think it's really unattainable, and it's only for super whatever word you want to use to describe other people. And we're just here to say, no, you can do it.
Mhm.
It is past possible, and we want to help you with that. And that's why for 3 days, Athena, you're going to be coaching us, you're going to be training us, you're going to be answering our questions. And I know that the cost of this is way less than what someone could usually access that information for. But tell someone why they need to sign up for this challenge. What is the reason that they need to sign up for this challenge?
If you have that burning sensation, right?
Yeah.
That feels like fire because you have not written that book. You need to sign up for this challenge.
Hmm.
The only way for that burning sensation, that passion, that fire that won't go out, the only way it goes out and leave you alone is if you push that book out.
Ooh.
You know, um, I always say it like this. We've heard the scripture in Jeremiah, it's like fire shut up in my bones. Well, that fire was the word that God had given
Mm.
him,
Hmm.
and it was fire because he had not released it. So that fire won't go away until you release it.
Wow.
So I am going to help you cancel out all of the doubts, the fears, the overwhelm, the excuses that you've held on to for years about writing and publishing a book.
Mm.
Period. Because once we deal with the that mind, everything else will flow.
Hmm.
And then we are going to take that idea that you have, that you're passionate about, that's that fire in your heart and your soul, and figure out how to get it in a outline, into a plan, so that you can write the book
Yeah.
in the least amount of time.
That's good.
And then I'm going to show you how to make an impact, how to monetize, and how to publish that so you have all of the pieces to be successful. There will be no excuses after these 3 days. You will know how, you will know why, and you will know when.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, that's so good. Athena, one of the things as you're saying this, um, I believe I'm excited for this because I believe some of what our world needs and what people in our communities need. The folks who will join this challenge and write those books will be the ones to put out the messages that they need, right? Somebody is trying to figure out now a relationship challenge, and there's someone who has an answer that just needs to write the book. There's someone who's trying to figure out my career and calling and how do I understand the will of God, and someone writing this book is the way that that person will figure out their answer, right? Someone is at a stage of life, a crossroads, and you writing your book is the answer to their prayers. And so we talked about ways that you can monetize it. But you got to write it first, right? You got to actually get the book done first before you can tap into all those other ways.
Mhm. And that's why the one thing that you need to bring to this challenge is a purpose.
Mm,
You don't have to bring um, a degree.
mm-hmm.
You don't have to bring any of that stuff. You need to bring your purpose.
Yeah.
If you just bring your purpose that isn't coupled with your passion, you are going to have the tools to make it to the end.
Yeah, that's good.
Just bring your purpose. I can do the rest. You bring the purpose, you bring the idea, and we will get to the finish line. It's just that simple. Just bring your purpose.
Yeah. So it's Sunday, April 27 to 29. But you can register today by going to monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. There's an early bird deadline so that you can save more than 50% of what it would cost you after that. So you'll double the price will more than double. So if I were you, register by that early bird deadline and I would show up. Here's the last thing I'll say to you. One of the reasons why you didn't get that book written before is you've been in your own head. You've been in your own head. And I just want to challenge you to get out of your own head, get with the right person, Athena, who can guide you, get with the right community, other people who have the same process that they need to walk through, and finally take action, right? Don't wish and hope and I will. No, this is the next right action for you to get that first book or that next book done. And if you know someone who's been talking about it, why not share this information with him? Why not share that information with her? I'll put the graphic up, and the website is monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. That's simply monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Go to it right now, click on the link, invest, sign up, show up. Let's have an amazing 3 days that will shape not just those 3 days, but shape the rest of this year and the rest of what God has called you to do, because you have a product, you have a book that is now gives you ability to leverage it and to make greater impact. And what's that word? Some income.
And some income.
All right, y'all. Athena, can't wait to do the challenge with you, to be able to learn again, right? Because I got another book in me and I'm hosting it, but I'm also a student in this. And for those who are watching this, you came on at the right time because you need to sign up as well. MonetizeYourMinistryChallenge.com. We'll see you in the challenge.